countless pages of old shipping records lies the history of more than 100,000 Africans shipped to the Americas during the transatlantic slave trade. But what used to be only numbers are now names.
In the 19th century, when the slave trade was in the process of being suppressed, there was a set of international courts established around the Atlantic world, and captured slave vessels were brought into these ports and adjudicated by the courts. And the people on board those vessels had their information taken down in bound registers, which have survived. And the most interesting thing about these bound registers is that it provides information on the African name, which is actually quite rare in the history of the Black Atlantic.
Within those names could be the answer to a question dating back to the 1800s. Just who are the Africans who helped shape the Americas, and where did they come from? It's a question Professor David Eltis and his team at Emory University in Atlanta are trying to answer with an online database called African Origins.
Traditionally, work of this kind has been done by individual scholars who look at documents and try and interpret the words that they see, in this case, an African name.
The secret to the project's success will be the general public. Anyone who knows about African naming traditions and can help identify where the person came from based on the name.
The range of languages and practices in Africa is very great. There are over 300 languages in Nigeria alone, and there is no way that anyone can possibly be in command of all the names associated with those languages.
Kwesi de Graft Hansen is an Emory graduate student from Ghana. After recognizing several names on the site, he realized he could be a part of history.
And exciting may sound like a strange word, but it was exciting to me. Exciting because I realized that these were people who are embedded in these documents and who have been lying dormant for so long, and who really, as I put it, are reaching out their hand to people like myself, like Dr. Eltis, like all those who will interact with this, to say, here we are.
Many African names are rooted in specific regions, countries, or even villages. For the most part, the naming traditions have persisted through the years, allowing those alive today to trace back the names with great accuracy.
And I'll start with my own name. My name Kwesi means male born on Sunday, and it is specific to the Akan ethno-linguistic group from South Central Ghana. There are Akan also in eastern Côte d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast. So you have this geographic area where the Akan are based today and historically have been based. And the Akan have a series of names or naming traditions, but Kwesi, which is mine, is part of the day naming pattern. They can't believe that each day, let's say Sunday, is ruled by a deity. So this is a traditional concept. And therefore that each person, whether you're male or female born on that particular day, the character that you have is bestowed by this particular deity. So Sunday's deity is called Kwesida.
The concept is simple. The online database allows users to type in a name.
Kwesi, Kwesi,
and a country.
I'll select Benin. I do know that the name Kwesi is in Ghana, modern-day Ghana, formerly Gold Coast, in Togo, in Benin, and in some parts of Ivory Coast.
Revealing a list of names that phonetically could be close to the original spelling.
And so here I have returns of, it says 189 names. And you can tell from the spelling at the very top, the very first which is returned is spelled C-U-E-S-I. So we can see the phonetic similarity between what I put in K-W-E-S-I, Kwesi, and C-U-E-S-I, which most people will pronounce Kwesi or some variant.
Each individual name also has details of that person, such as age, gender, and where he or she got on board the ship headed for the Americas.
It says here in 1829, an international court located in Havana, Cuba, he was on board the slaving vessel Voladora, which departed from the port of Popo before being intercepted and taken to Havana, Cuba.
If the user is confident of the origin of the name, they can send the information to the African Origins team, which vets all submissions. If a consensus is reached, that person who once was just a number in a ship log now has a name and an identity.
The ultimate goal is to create a geographic profile of the origins of people that were pulled into the slave trade.
You know, it's a lot of names, but I always come back to it's one name. It's that name that you're looking at and that you recognize. And to me, that is what this project is about. It's about recognizing them. You know, there are names there, and for some of us, it doesn't mean anything, but for some people, it springs to life exactly who that is. And that's what's critical. If you just contribute, you know, an identification of one African, that means so much to being able to unlock this history and put this back together again, who these people were.